What if Naruto Uzumaki became the demon king of Oto and forged a forbidden harem of cursed sound maidens? Part 1. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and support the channel for daily Naruto fanfics like this. Now, let's begin. Naruto-kun, do you really think we can do it? Do you really think we can somehow escape the Sandaime Hokage's ANBU squads? I mean, we're just little kids, we're only 6-year-olds and not very well trained, and sniff, and that bitch Kurenai-sensei and the Hokage sealed away my powers. Said Yakumo angrily and hatefully. She is a 6-year-old little girl with shoulder-length brown hair, teal-colored eyes and white creamy skin. She is wearing a red kimono that reaches her thighs and hugs them like a mini skirt with black spandex shorts underneath and black ninja sandals. Shish, don't cry Yakumo-chan, you know I hate it when you don't smile. I promise you we will leave soon, I just have to finalize a few things, that's all. Said a 6-year-old Naruto in a placating manner, patting Yakumo at the top of the head gently with his other arm wrapped around her waist. She on the other hand was sitting on his lap with her face buried into his chest, her arms tightly wrapped around his torso, as if he would suddenly disappear if she ever let go of him. Naruto is a blonde-haired 6-year-old boy with deep blue slanted eyes and 3 whisker-like lines on each of his cheeks and longer-than-average canine teeth that jut out of his lips that complete his feral appearance. He is dressed in a blue sleeveless t-shirt with black ninja pants and blue ninja sandals. Why you promise? Asked Yakumo hopefully, removing her head from his chest to stare at Naruto with an unintentional and teary puppy eyes technique, pulling the strings painfully deep within the blonde's heart. Hi, I promise, I won't go back on my word, besides, I have a plan. Said the blonde, trying to suppress the concerned expression on his face, but Yakumo, knowing him too well, saw right through it and it made her all the more worried. She knew Naruto-kun wouldn't go back on his word and she knew how smart and insightful he was. She had no doubt in her mind that he would figure out a way for them to escape the village, but that was not what worried her. What made her so worried was the fact that Naruto-kun was keeping secrets from her lately. He had never kept secrets from her until roughly 6 months ago, when she first noticed the subtle changes in his behavior. She was scared. She suspected that Naruto-kun was doing business with some dangerous people that he wasn't telling her about. She'd tried to follow him on a few occasions but nothing had been done that was out of the ordinary or would cause reason for suspicion, but that was suspicious in itself to her. How could someone with the plans that she and Naruto had not act suspicious at all for a whole week when she was following him? Sure, this wouldn't be a surprise to someone who didn't know about his plans, but to her, who knew almost everything about him, this was way too suspicious. And Naruto-kun, is there something you want to tell me about? Is there something you're hiding from me? Sniff. I know you've been up to something dangerous. I don't want you to suffer because of me. We don't have to leave, we can stay here. Sniff, sniff. I don't want us to leave if the sacrifice you make becomes too much, or worse, if I lose you in the process. Cried Yakumo, burying her tear-stained face against his chest. Yakumo-chan, please Naruto-kun, please tell me what's bothering you. I want us to do this together, I want to share the burden with you. Sniff. I don't want you to suffer alone. Tell me what's wrong, damn it. Sniff. Is it the QB? Is it bothering you? Is it escaping? Just tell me, please, I want to help. Sniff sniff. Cried Yakumo, beating the sides of her fists against Naruto's chest repeatedly in frustration. Tell her, said an angelic but motherly voice from inside Naruto's head. Keika-chan. But why? I don't want to worry her, I'm trying to protect her feelings. Didn't you say that I had to protect the heart of someone that I love, if I tell her then? Do not be a fool, Naru-chan. By keeping secrets from her, you are giving her the impression that she hasn't earned your trust. Do you know how much that must hurt for her, to believe that the person she loves and trusts the most does not feel the same way about her? Replied the voice, scolding the 6-year-old with a motherly tone. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. How could he have not thought about that? His mother had warned him about this before, that it was the actions of a person that spoke louder than his words, and sometimes spoke louder than even his thoughts. Just because his intention and thoughts were to protect her and shield her heart from pain didn't mean that it would magically happen if his actions provoked the opposite reaction. Do not let it bother you too much, Naru-chan. What is important is that you learn from your mistakes and not repeat them. She has earned our trust already, tell her everything. Besides, if we cannot trust her, then there is no one that we can ever trust in this cursed world. Said the voice in a sage-like tone. Ka-chan, arigato, I will tell her everything. I think it is a good idea, I don't want her to hurt anymore. Replied the blonde bundle. Okay, I will tell you my plans. Said Naruto with a dead serious tone, surprising Yakumo slightly. She hadn't really expected him to cave in so quickly. He was usually stubborn in his views, beliefs, and decisions. And Nani, why you will? Asked Yakumo hopefully. Hi, I trust you. Besides, you and I are partners, we have a better chance of success if we work together. Said Naruto, staring at Yakumo blankly. Yakumo knew that her Naruto-kun was serious by the look in his face. She would never admit it, but it scared her to no ends when he was like this, because it felt like he didn't have emotions at all when he had that look. He was just cold, almost like a killing machine. Sniff. Okay, sniff. Replied Yakumo. All right then. First of all, I am going to show you something. It is a letter from my biological mother. She used a time-lapse seal on me just before she died, a seal that would activate when I reached the age of 10, the same age that she and my father graduated the Ninja Academy. But she made provision for the possibility of me graduating earlier than they did. She wanted me to have the gifts she left for me as soon as I was ready to begin my higher-level ninja education. She set it up that I would be able to release the seal with my blood and chakra if I was able to discover it before the age of 10. Thanks to meeting Kyubi at an early age, I was able to view all of my memories up until the day I was born and thus discovered the seal, and all my memories that the Sandaime Hokage had sealed away. Said Naruto with an angry snarl, giving Yakumo a chance to digest the information. What? But I thought that you said you had never met your parents. I thought you were an orphan since birth. Snapped Yakumo with a betrayed expression on her face. Yes, I did, but I didn't lie to you. That was the truth. I have never met my parents in person and they did die on the day of my birth. That is why my mother put a time-lapse seal on me, so that she can communicate with me and bear me some gifts even from beyond the grave. Explained Naruto. Oh, I see. What was in the seal, if it's not too private? Asked Yakumo nervously, a small red hue forming on her cheeks from embarrassment. Damn it, Yakumo, he probably thinks you're too nosy for your own good. I can't believe I asked him about something so personal. Thought Yakumo. What was in the seal? I'll do better than tell you. I'll let you read her letter. Said Naruto, causing Yakumo's eyes to widen in surprise again. She didn't expect him to let her read something so private. She only expected him to give her a brief summary of what was inside the seal. What? But you don't have to. If you don't want to, it's too personal, isn't it? Asked Yakumo, trying to fight against her own curiosity. No, it's fine. I want to share this with you. You're the closest thing I have to family. I consider you like that at least. I love you that much. Said Naruto, trying his hardest to resist the blush on his cheeks. Thank you. I love you too. Said Yakumo with a cute blush on her cheeks, averting her eyes from her only friend to hide her embarrassment. Why am I feeling like this? I mean, he's my only precious person. It's all right to tell him that I love him, isn't it? Thought Yakumo, unable to comprehend the attraction between male and female, maybe because of her young age perhaps. All right then, you remember the scroll with the mind transfer techniques that I gave to you, right? Asked Naruto. Hi, Demo, what does this have to do with your mother's seal and letter, Naruto-kun? Asked Yakumo with a cute, confused pout. Naruto, with his mind willed a folded scroll to appear on his hand before handing it over to his best friend. Some might have wondered how someone can just will something into existence, but the truth of the matter was that although their physical contact felt real, there was actually nothing real about it. They were communicating through a modified mind transfer jutsu that Yakumo created for the sole purpose of communicating with her best friend. The jutsu required that her Naruto-kun be at least 2 miles within her position. From then on it was a simple matter of her creating a mind link between the two of them. Combined with her skill in genjutsu, she could create a mental plane where she and Naruto could communicate with each other as if they were in the physical realm. The jutsu was so good that if a person was not made aware that he or she was inside her jutsu, then it was almost impossible to figure it out, much less break it. The scary part was that she could do this despite her bloodline limit being sealed away, or rather, the mental manifestation of her bloodline limit being sealed away. Well you see, here, this will explain everything to you. Said Naruto, putting the letter into her hand. Dear Naruto-kun, Sochi, my baby, please forgive your Ka-chan. I didn't mean to die on you, Naruto-kun. I wanted to raise you up myself. I wanted to be there on your first day at the academy, when you first graduated, your first date, and I wanted to be there on your wedding day. It pains my heart to know that I won't be able to be there for you. I can't believe life can be so unfair, but you shouldn't dwell on the past, Sochi-kun. Please be a strong boy for mommy. I know you'll grow up to become a very powerful shinobi one day, just like your father. Sochi-kun, I don't have a lot of time left. You and I are lying together on your crib as I write this letter. The Kyubi has been ripped away from me by a man that I believe to be Uchiha Madara. I do not know how he has managed to live this long, but be sure to remember that name and make sure you become strong. He will definitely return for the Kyubi one day. Your father, he has gone to do battle with him and the Kyubi to protect the village. Yes, Sochi, your father is the Yondaime Hokage, Namikaze Minato. It shouldn't be hard for you to figure it out though. You look exactly like him. No one can deny you your heritage, even though we were married under secrecy. Sochi, I am going to tell you some important things that you need to be aware of if you are to survive this cruel and harsh ninja world. Sochi, the Kyubi has always been kept by Uzumaki clan. Your great ancestor, Uzumaki Mito, was the first container. I was the second, and there is no doubt in my mind that your father is going to seal it inside of you. Now don't be scared, Sochi-kun. We Uzumaki have very powerful bodies and our chakra reserves are excessively high, far higher than any shinobi family and far more potent. Moreover, our family are the undisputed masters of seals and barriers. These abilities are also crucial in our ability to contain the fox, as we have a very strong affinity to seals and barriers. Sochi, I know the life of a Jinchuriki. It is very harsh, demanding, and heartbreaking. Sochi-kun, I need you to find someone special for yourself, someone to love and treasure, because only pure love can save you from the darkness that is born within a person when they are bonded to a tailed beast. I wish I could have been that person for you, Naru-chan, but I can't. I'm as good as dead already. I'm already living on borrowed time. Naru-chan, be careful who you trust. You are the last heir of the great Uzumaki clan and the only son of the Yellow Flash of Konoha. A lot of people will want to attach themselves to you, or use you for various reasons. The ninja world is full of deception and treachery. Make sure you have a keen eye, Naruto-kun. This is not what a normal mother would teach their son, but we are not a normal family. We are a shinobi family. Do not give your trust to others freely, Sochi. Be careful, be very careful. Do not worry too much though. You will have the strength to match or even surpass your father, and I, Ka-chan, will make sure of it. I have sealed behind your neck a hidden time-lapse storage seal that will be activated when you reach the age of 10, the same age me and your father graduated the academy. But, if you discover this letter before that, then know this: the seal can be revealed and opened by only your blood and chakra. Do not trust anyone with the contents or even the existence of this seal, not even the Hokage. These are family secrets, Naruto-kun. They should be treasured and kept within the clan and family. Inside the seal are all the Uzumaki clan seals and barrier techniques that I am aware of, and everything about our family and history, dating back to our origin from the Sage of the Six Paths. You will learn more about the sage within those notes, and you will learn about our homeland, Uchiha no Saito. I also have a lot of water techniques sealed inside the scroll. Our family have a strong affinity to water and we have all the water techniques you can think of. Use them wisely, Naruto-kun. There is also the blood clone and shadow clone techniques inside the scroll. Sochi-kun, the shadow clone returns all of its experiences and memories when it is dispelled. This technique was an Uzumaki creation that was inspired by our lack of chakra control in our early years of ninja development. You can use the shadow clone technique to train your chakra control, study sealing arts or any large text of information, and practice your ninjutsu with it, as anything the clone learns will be transferred back to you in the form of photographic memories. Now be careful, this technique is very chakra extensive. Although as an Uzumaki, and the son of the great Yondaime Hokage, you wouldn't have to worry too much about your chakra, but be careful of dispelling too many clones at once, especially if you were using them for studying large blocks of text. Your father was a specialist of space-time techniques, and one of his greatest creations was the Hiroshin no Jutsu, an instant transportation technique that amplifies his speed and reflexes to an unreal level. I have stored all of his space-time techniques and seals inside the storage seal, and also his ninjutsu, including the Rasengan. These are the techniques that made your father a legend. I have no doubt in my mind that you will one day be able to master them. Your father wanted to create a third level of the Hiroshin. Maybe you will one day be able to improve it. He also wanted to add a nature element to the Rasengan. Nevertheless, you have in your possession all of his notes. Use them wisely. Sochi, Ka-chan did something illegal, but I did it for you, Sochi-kun. I am sure that it will benefit you in the future. There is no doubt in my mind about it. Naru-chan, there is a scroll that is given to the Hokage by the clans of Konoha when he takes the position as a form of trust between the village and the clans of the village. The scroll contains all of the techniques of all of the clans inside it. This is done by the clans in order to prove their loyalty to the village and their trust in the Hokage and the village. This also promotes good relations between the two parties. More than that, Sochi, is that this scroll is also made to ensure the continued existence of the clans. Sometimes, a clan will be destroyed, like our own was destroyed all those years ago, and sometimes clan techniques and information about the clans can be lost during the chaos and destruction. The clans allow the Hokage to keep a scroll of all their techniques so that the little kids who survive the carnage can have access to information and techniques of their clan. The Hokage will make sure that they get a copy of the section of the scroll within his possession that contains the properties of said survivor's clan. The clans of Konoha are the Yamanaka clan, the Kurama clan, Uchiha, Hyuga, Aburame, Inuzuka, Akamichi, and the Nara clan. Sochi, I'm not proud of what I have done, but this is the ninja world. A ninja must always use whatever advantage that is given to them, deception, trickery, whatever is necessary, a ninja must do to achieve their goals. My goal is to protect the people I love, Sochi-kun, and you are the person I love the most. That is why I made copies of the scroll that was entrusted to Minato-kun by the clans. Your father has an obligation to uphold. He made an oath to them that he would protect their secrets as the Hokage, but I am under no such obligation, for I never made such an oath. Use what I have given you wisely, Naruto-kun. Yes, Ka-chan can be quite deceptive and diabolical, but I want what is best for you. I want you to survive and live a long and prosperous life, and I want you to be happy. To do that, you will need a lot of strength. Even as a baby, only a few minutes after your birth you were dancing and tangling with life and death. Your life will be even harder, but you will pull through, Ka-chan has made sure of it. One more thing Sochi, I left all of my research and studies of the medical ninja arts. It wasn't my forte, I never took interest in that field until I got married to Minato-kun. Sochi, as Uzumaki are blessed with longevity, we can even live up to twice the age of normal human beings, or even shinobi. I didn't want to outlive your father too much, so I delved into the medical field so that I can find a way to prolong his life, but as you can see, I have run out of time myself, but I will leave my research with you, maybe you can find a way to prolong the life of your own special person. This is it Naru-chan, Minato-kun should be back soon. I don't know what is going to happen, but I know he will seal the QB inside of you no matter how much I protest. It is his duty as the Hokage, he will no doubt train you well, but should something happen to him, you have the storage seal to help you. I love you Naruto-kun, Ka-chan loves you so much. Never forget that, ever. No matter what you do, no matter what you become and no matter where you go, never forget my love. I will never forsake you Naruto-kun, and make sure you have lots of grandchildren ready for Ka-chan to spoil. Goodbye, my Sochi. Namikaze Uzumaki Kushina. Oh Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry, wailed Yakumo, launching herself into the blonde's chest, tears flowing down her cheeks rapidly. This is so sad, why is life so unfair to you, why do all the bad things always have to happen to you? This is so unfair, sniff sniff, cried Yakumo, releasing heartbreaking sobs from her throat. Hey now, don't cry Yakumo-chan. I'm fine, really, Ka-chan told me not to dwell on the past, I miss her, I wish I could have been raised by her, but she wanted me to be happy, she sacrificed everything for my happiness and did so much to ensure that I had a chance to survive this world, I won't disappoint her. So please, don't cry, the only thing I want to see is your smile, not your tears. Begged Naruto, trying to maintain a stoic expression but failing miserably, tears threatening to fall out of his own eyes too. The two children cried in each other's arms for 15 minutes straight, releasing all of their suppressed pain and sorrow to each other. The Edo demon made her kill her own parents, her beloved sensei, who she thought believed in her betrayed her and sealed her powers with the help of the Hokage. The remainder of her family deserted her and wanted nothing to do with her, and she is imprisoned in her own home under constant ANBU watch, and has been denied her dream of becoming a great kunoichi of her clan despite her unhealthy physical condition. All of this and she still cries for you, believing that you have had a far worse life than her. What a strange girl, she didn't even comment on the fact that you are the son of the Yondaime Hokage. Said the QB, sniff, look what you did to me, you, sniff, made me cry, boys aren't supposed to cry, sniff. Said the blonde in between sobs. Yakumo giggled childishly at her friend's attempt to be a man, she couldn't help it, it was so cute. Sniff, sorry, I didn't mean to, replied Yakumo, unable to suppress her laughter. For some strange reason she felt so much better now, almost as if a heavy burden had just been lifted off of her shoulders, she felt so calm and carefree. Naruto laughed with her, he just realized how stupid he must have sounded talking about boys not crying even though he was choking with his own sobs. You should stop fooling around, how long do you think the girl can hold this jutsu up for? Warned the QB, causing Naruto's eyes to widen slightly. Ahem, Yakumo-chan, I have to tell you something important before we run out of time. Said Naruto, wiping away the tears from his face with a serious expression. Yakumo, realizing that her Naru-kun wasn't playing around anymore, adopted her own serious expression. What is it Naruto-kun? Asked Yakumo. Yakumo, I have already a way for us to not only escape the village, but to stay safe and receive proper training until we are ready to take on the Hidden Leaf Village. Said Naruto with a serious expression. Yakumo's eyes widened in awe and surprise, and a little happiness too. Sugoi, how did you do it? Asked Yakumo with childish curiosity. I have been collaborating with an older boy by the name Yakushi Kabuto for quite a while now, I met him on the same day that I met Ka-chan. I mean Kyubi, he is the adopted son of the best medical ninja currently living in the village. Together with my mother's research that I have, and his knowledge, we have come up with a possible cure for your physical condition. Explained Naruto, causing Yakumo's eyes to widen in disbelief and happiness. But how? You didn't even examine me or take any blood samples. And what has this cure got to do with our escape? Not that I'm not grateful, of course. Asked Yakumo, not able to believe what to her was too good to be true. She didn't know much about medical stuff, but she had been through so many tests and examinations in her life of imprisonment that it was impossible for her not to at least know enough to question Naruto about a few things. True, but Kabuto was able to get access to all of the data on you that has been collected by the village, including blood samples amongst other things. We were able to make a diagnosis and come up with a cure, although Kabuto did most of the work. I also found out that Kabuto is not a loyal Konoha shinobi, he is a spy that answers directly to Orochimaru of the Densetsu no Sannin. If you didn't know, Orochimaru is a rogue shinobi that deserted the Hidden Leaf. But what most people do not know, is that he has his own hidden village, Otogakur no Saito. Kabuto told me that he has talked to Orochimaru and that he wants us to be a part of his hidden village and unlike Konoha, will not hinder our growth. Orochimaru promises proper training and power if we agree to help him destroy the hidden leaf and stay loyal to Oto. Said Naruto, taking a breath from his long explanation to give Yakumo a chance to digest the information. Yakumo didn't know how to feel about this. On the one hand, she was very happy that she would not only be cured of her disease, but would also be able to become a proper kunoichi and not have to live in a place she hated so much. But on the other hand, she had heard very bad things about this Orochimaru. The Densetsu no Sanin were the Hokage students, and she hated the Hokage and didn't trust him at all, so why would she trust his student? Sure, he was a missing ninja and hated Konoha, it seemed just like her, but she didn't like his association with the Hokage one bit. I don't know Naruto-kun, I heard some very bad things about him when my medical observers thought I wasn't conscious. Like I heard that he did cruel experiments on people, and even children. Said Yakumo. Naruto flinched when Yakumo mentioned experiments and children, causing Yakumo to narrow her eyes at him with a speak up or die expression, making the blonde to gulp nervously. What is it? Tell me, demanded Yakumo ominously. You see, I had to agree to an experiment that Orochimaru wants to conduct on me as part of the deal. You see, because of Ka-chan, I am the only one who can survive the experiment, and it will give me a lot of power if the experiment is successful. I will be near invincible. Ka-chan has assured me that she won't let me die though, she thinks. She knows I can survive the experiment, said Naruto defensively. The look on his friend's face was too scary for comfort. The last thing he wanted was for her to use her genjutsu on him. He didn't fancy finding out if the Kurama clan's genjutsu could be dispelled by his Ka-chan or not. What, are you insane? What on Kami's planet made you agree to something so stupid? Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. I'm going to kill you, screamed Yakumo, tackling the blonde onto the ground with her hands wrapped around his throat. How dare you? What am I going to do if you die, you selfish bastard? You wanna risk your life just for power? Why would you do that? I thought you loved me, sniff, screamed Yakumo furiously. Normally she wouldn't have had enough strength to subdue him, but inside her jutsu, she could do anything she wanted, even overpower him if she wanted to. Damn, she must really be mad if she called me by my full name, thought the blonde. Can't breathe, whizzed out the blonde. Why, I knew it was too good to be true, said Yakumo, burying her face into Naruto's chest. She couldn't take it, she couldn't risk losing him of all people, not him, anything but that. Yakumo-chan, do you trust me? Asked Naruto simply, having regained his breath after the petite girl's assault on his person. I trust you, Naruto-kun, said Yakumo. Then believe me when I say that I won't die on you. We're going to leave this place together. I am going to survive Orochimaru-san's experiment, and we are going to heal you and unseal your true power. We will get our vengeance, for you and for me, and we will live in a village where our talents and abilities will be appreciated. I promise, please believe in me, Yakumo-chan, said Naruto, his arms wrapped around the petite girl who was snuggled on top of him. You promise you won't die and leave me alone? Asked Yakumo with a cute teary-eyed pout. I promise, said Naruto with a determined facial expression. Oh okay, I believe in you, Naruto-kun, said Yakumo with a meaningful look, trying to pass on her feelings onto Naruto. Arigato, trailed off Naruto, staring in slight shock at Yakumo's transparent form, only to realize that he was also disappearing. We're out of time, I can't believe 2 hours have already passed, it felt so short, said Naruto with a disappointed expression on his face. I'm sorry Naruto, but I can't hold the jutsu up any longer, I'm getting tired, gomenasai, apologized Yakumo, trying to hold back the tears threatening to spill from her eyes. This is the part she hated the most, because it would only be a week before she would be able to see Naruto-kun again, unless she escaped and went to his apartment again, but that was too dangerous. They didn't want to risk the possibility of someone discovering their connection to each other. Heck, nobody even knew that they knew each other. Don't worry about it, we will be leaving this place the next time we meet. Stay safe Yakumo-chan, until I come for you, said the blonde as he vanished from the plane along with Yakumo, only to wake up in a meditative position on a thick branch of a tree 2 miles away from the Kurama mansion. Finally boss, I was just about to kick you in the nuts. Guard duty is boring, you know, why can't you make us do something more exciting? Whined one of his 4 doppelgangers watching over the blonde while he was unconscious. It was something important that he practiced nowadays. He would make 5 doppelgangers whenever he met Yakumo. One would set up a cloaking genjutsu that Yakumo had taught him to hide his location and presence, while the other 4 would be on guard duty from within the jutsu. At home, was another doppelganger posing as him. He knew that the Hokage had a way of watching him because Kyuubi could always sense it when someone was watching them. He had figured part of the Hokage's jutsu out when he discovered chakra seal tags on each of his clothing items and even all around his apartment. So he'd done what he thought was one of his most ingenious plans. He'd created a blood clone of himself and made it live inside his apartment and wear his ordinary clothes that had chakra seal tags on them while he moved out and started living in one of Orochimaru's old and undiscovered secret hideouts that Kabuto had told him about. But the person living inside his apartment wasn't just a blood clone. Naruto knew, after he unsealed some of his memories that had been blocked away with the help of Kyuubi, that the Sandaime Hokage sometimes did examinations on his seal when he was knocked unconscious, and if the examination was done on the clone, then there would be a whole lot of trouble. Luckily, he had access to all the notes of the four-symbol seal that his Tusen used to seal the Kyuubi inside of him. He had discovered that his father had combined two four-symbol seals to create the 8 trigrams sealing style to seal the yang chakra of the Kyuubi inside of him, while using the dead demon consuming seal to separate the yin chakra and seal it into himself so that he can take it to the stomach of the death god. Naruto wasn't sure why his father had done it. He still needed to gain a far greater understanding of the sealing arts to comprehend his father's reasoning, but that didn't matter for now. What mattered was that he had been able to learn the four-symbol seal in the 8 trigrams sealing shrine that his father created so that he can replicate the seal on his stomach. He then placed the seal on the blood clone's stomach and then, with the help of his Ka-chan, was able to pump 6 taels worth of Yuki into the seal on his clone and stored it there in the exact same manner that his Ka-chan was sealed into him. But, Naruto knew that should there be another attack or assassination attempt on him, or rather, his clone, then the Hokage would once again try to seal away his memories of the incident, and in doing so, would discover that the other memory blocks were missing. Luckily, his Ka-chan knew exactly how to replicate the memory blocks. She'd spent countless hours studying them before they had made their first contact. This meant that they could reseal away the memories of his clone to the time before he discovered his Ka-chan, better known as the Kyuubi. This way, they were not able to stay one step ahead of the Hokage, but many, many steps ahead of him. While his clone was posing as him, Naruto had spent all his time learning and training in Orochimaru's old hideout. Kabuto came to check him out and spar with him from time to time. Sometimes they would discuss their plans for the future, and other times they would discuss medicine and science together. He had learned a lot from the notes his biological Ka-chan left him on the field and had learned even more from Kabuto, all for the sake of helping out his first precious person, or rather, first precious human. It is almost time. I have to go to the hideout and meet Kabuto to finalize things. Yakumo-chan, hold on just a little longer, thought Naruto before disappearing in a Shunshuin, his shadow clones disappearing in puffs of smoke right after his departure. At the center of Konohagakure no Saito stood a tall building with the kanji for fire painted on the outside. Inside the tower, behind a desk in an office on the top floor, sat a 68-year-old man with great white, spiky hair with a small, white goatee. He has numerous wrinkles and a few liver spots on his face, and is dressed in a long, white robe with the kanji for fire shadow at the back with black ninja sandals. How goes your investigation, Itachi-kun, Shisui-kun? Asked the old man, who is also known by the name Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage of Konohagakure no Saito. Hokage-sama, we have some disturbing news. Said the 11-year-old Uchiha Itachi, a boy with dark eyes and black hair that frames his face and the rest held in a relatively short ponytail with long, pronounced hair troughs that run under his eyes. He is dressed in a black t-shirt that has a high, turtleneck collar with the standard, white ANBU armor above, arm guards that protect his forearms and black ANBU pants with black ninja sandals. What did you find? Asked Hiruzen wearily, his eyes narrowed with a troubled frown on his features. Our genjutsu assessment was inconclusive. Our deceased comrades, it appears, had already been dead for 2 weeks when their bodies were discovered. The decaying process of the corpses had already reached a level where it would be impossible for us to physically determine whether they were under such effects prior to their deaths. Demo. Said the older-looking Uchiha Shisui, a 14-year-old boy with dark, short, and unkempt hair with a relatively broad nose and dark eyes with markings around his eyes that are turned upwards at each end. He is wearing an identical outfit to his partner Itachi except with a dark blue turtleneck shirt as opposed to Itachi's black and without arm guards. What is it, Shisui-kun? Asked the Hokage, his troubled expression making him look even older than he was. Hokage-sama, we discovered something much more troubling. The stab wounds on the victims were not a match for any weapon that we have in Konohagakure no Saito except for one. Yondaime Hokage-sama's Hiroshin Kanai, replied Shisui neutrally, having already had more than enough time to get over his shock of the discovery. Sarutobi Hiruzen was the third of the 4 Hokages in Konoha's history and the longest-serving member of the 4, and thus attaining the most experience. He was hailed as the god of all shinobi for his diverse and powerful skill set and seen everything there was to be seen in the ninja world. He was also the student of the first and second Hokages and had stared death right in the face more times than he could even count. Yet nothing he had ever heard or encountered before had ever made him feel the kind of that the little boy of the Uchiha clan was able to make him feel with just a few words. Nothing. I'm sorry, Shisui-kun, but could you repeat yourself for me, and kindly explain yourself? Asked Hiruzen in slight disbelief. unable to bring himself to believe that his own successor could possibly still be alive and become an enemy to his home village, or worse, that an enemy shinobi had been able to replicate something that not even he or the Yondaimi's own sensei could. Either possibility was not welcome. This is the same technique that was able to shed light for Konoha against the strong Iwagakure, a single man pushing back a whole ninja village on his own. Hokage-sama, all of the deceased were stabbed through the back. The position of the wounds and the nature of the attack suggest that they were unable to react to the culprit's movements. With an inconclusive genjutsu assessment, the only other two possibilities are that either a very powerful speed technique or an instant transportation technique was used, two things that Yondaime-sama was renowned for. The wounds were definitely a result of the use of Yondaime-sama's kunai. Explained Shisui, leaving the Hokage to come to his own conclusions about the information presented. I see, and what of the sweeper? Why did she not report that the four that were assigned to the Kurama heiress were deceased for over 2 weeks? Why would she report that everything was normal when it clearly wasn't? Is she a traitor? Asked Hiruzen with narrowed eyes. No, she isn't. She was under a powerful genjutsu, a genjutsu that could rival mine and even Shisui-senpai's genjutsu. We believe that the jutsu was cast by the Kurama heiress herself to buy time to cover both hers and her accomplice's tracks. In other words, this wasn't a kidnapping, but a well-planned and executed escape. Explained Itachi. What is going on here? I saw Minato-kun die in front of my own eyes and I even held his corpse. Yet here I am, presented with near irrefutable evidence that he is not only alive but a possible enemy to Konoha. It is unlikely that he would be alive, but at the same time impossible for an enemy to replicate Minato-kun's technique. What am I supposed to think here? Assuming that Minato-kun were alive, or someone with the knowledge of his techniques, what would they possibly want the most? Thought Hiruzen before widening his eyes in shock and fear. What is the matter, Hokage-sama? Exclaimed the two Uchiha prodigies simultaneously, their hands already firmly placed on their tanto strapped on their backs. The duo watched intently as their Hokage pulled out a crystal ball from the drawer under his desk, his hand hovering over the ball and without even molding any hand seals channeling his chakra into the technique. The image that appeared on the ball was that of a little 6-year-old boy with spiky blonde hair and 3 whisker-like lines on each of his cheeks, a blue and mostly neon orange jumpsuit with blue sandals. The boy was sitting on a swing, watching the other kids play with a sad expression on his face that he was trying to hide. The Hokage released a loud sigh of relief, saying that his so-called surrogate grandson was still safe within the walls of Konoha. So that's what he was worried about. Not unexpected, with the Kurama heiress's disappearance and the kind of evidence that was collected, the boy could and should be a possible target for the enemy. Thought Shisui. Shisui, Itachi, said the Hokage with authority, forasocking the kun suffixes to their names is a sign of the seriousness of the situation. Hi, Hokage-sama, saluted the duo rigidly. The information obtained will from now on become an S-ranked secret. You are not to disclose this information to anyone who doesn't already know about it under the penalty of death, understood? Asked Hiruzen rhetorically. Hi, replied the duo in sync. Good. Now, your next mission is an S-class mission of the highest importance. You are to watch over and protect the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Naruto at all times of the day, but you are not to make contact or even be seen by either him or anyone else he associates with. You will take turns in watching over him. Itachi, you take the day shift. Shisui, you take the night shift. This mission will begin immediately and refusal of the mission is not an option, understood? Said Hiruzen with a deadly stare, one that made him not recognizable as the kind old man, but as the Hokage, and the Kami no Shinobi. Hi, Hokage-sama, replied the Uchiha prodigies. Good, dismissed, said Hiruzen, watching the two boys disappear with a silent shunshin. Those boys are two of the best that I have in my ranks. If they can't protect him, then no one can. I need to make contact with Jiraiya-kun, he will need to hear all about this. Sigh, I'm getting too old for this job, I need to find another successor soon. Thought Hiruzen. Otogakure no Saito, Kukuku. Welcome back Naruto-kun, I was starting to think that you weren't going to return to USSS. Hissed Orochimaru, a man wearing plain gray garbs with black pants and a thick purple rope belt tied in a large knot behind his back and blue tomoe-shaped earrings. He is wearing a black polo neck under his outfit. He has pale white skin with waist-length black hair, amber eyes with slits in his pupils and purple-like markings around his eyes, making him look more like a snake that has taken the form of a human. MNNNN. Mumbled Naruto, unable to speak properly, reason being that his body was floating inside a cylindrical glass container full of liquid with an oxygen mask attached to his face and a numerous amount of cord-like syringes impaling him all over his body. Kukuku, I'm sorry Naruto-kun, but you are going to have to work on your vocabulary if we are going to communicate properly with each other. Kukuku. Laughed Orochimaru theatrically, unable to hold back his amusement seeing the incredulous expression on his newest subordinate. Come on now Orochimaru-sama, you shouldn't antagonize Naruto-kun, he has already contributed so much to our scientific knowledge, he is after all, a living and breathing scientific miracle. Said Kabuto, a 10-year-old boy who has black eyes with gray hair kept in a ponytail and wears circular glasses. He is also wearing a dark purple shirt with a white undershirt and a white obi around his waist worn at an angle, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. An Otogakur forehead protector is worn around his forehead and dark purple gloves with open fingers covering his hands. What is this feeling? I can feel their essence, thought the blonde Uzumaki. Relax Naru-chan, you are merely sensing their chakra. This is no doubt a result of the experiment. One of the main qualities of the implanted material was chakra sensing, remember? Said the Kyuubi from inside the blonde's mind. So that is how it is. What a useful ability. I can even tell the nature and feeling of their chakra. This is good, replied the blonde with a little excitement. Naruto was broken out of his thoughts when Kabuto released the water from the glass cylinder he was contained in. The oxygen mask and the syringes dislodged themselves with a ram hand sign and a small flare of chakra from Kabuto, causing the blonde to fall face first into the ground. My Naruto-kun, a little clumsy aren't we? If this is your level then I am afraid you don't have what it takes to be able to join my elite shinobi. Said Orochimaru, mocking the blonde with a mischievous glint in his eyes, an attempt to test the limits of the boy's temperament. Damn it, Ka-chan, what is wrong with my body? Asked Naruto with a little panic in his voice. It took a great amount of energy from the both of us in order to not only keep you alive, but to assimilate the foreign DNA material into you. Plus, you haven't moved at all in just over 2 weeks now, you just need a little time to get reacquainted with your body and regain some energy, that's all. Don't worry about anything, I won't let anything bad happen to you. Said the great demoness motherly. Hi, arigato Ka-chan, replied Naruto, slowly getting up to his feet. A tick mark appeared on Orochimaru's forehead at Naruto's complete disregard of his insulting attempts. Kabuto only smirked to himself silently, successfully restraining his laughter for fear of Orochimaru-sama's wrath. How do you feel Naruto-kun? Asked Kabuto with his trademark smirk on display, pushing up his glasses with his index and middle finger. Tired and drained, but fine, was Naruto's simple answer. I see, but what I meant was, do you feel any different, something related to the DNA implants? Asked Kabuto. I can feel your life force, your chakra, I can sense it, its nature, and I can somewhat discern your emotions, or rather, your character, somewhat. Replied Naruto. So I was right after all, chakra sensing would have had to be a quality attained from the experiment, given the offensive abilities that you might also gain. Demo, what did you mean when you said you could discern our character by sensing our chakra? Asked Kabuto. Orochimaru-sama's chakra feels cold and sinister, yours just feels cold. The chakra is an extension of the life force of a human, with the soul being the source. That being said, if your chakra feels cold and sinister, then you are most likely a cold and sinsider person. Said Naruto, his words making Orochimaru narrow his eyes at Naruto, blasting him with his full killing intent. Oh, Orochimaru-sama, sputtered Kabuto, hoping to stop his master from killing his favorite ally but failing to suppress his fear long enough to take any action. Tell me Naruto-kun, what are you going to do now that you have this power? Do you not trust us anymore because of our cold and sinister character as you say? Are you planning to betray me? Asked Orochimaru, taking slow and deliberate steps towards the blonde for the intimidating effect. Our agreement was never about trust, we have an agreement that is mutually beneficial, that's all there is to it. The nature of your chakra doesn't concern me, Ka-chan's chakra has 1,000,000 times more malice in it than yours, but I trust her. Said the blonde. Why isn't he affected by Orochimaru-sama's killing intent? Surely even he couldn't have that much resistance, could he? Thought Kabuto, eyes widening slightly in shock. Ka-chan, what are you talking about? Who is your Ka-chan? Asked Orochimaru in confusion, now regretting not having spoken more to the boy before subjecting him to his experiments, although just thinking about it, there was no way he could have held back his scientific curiosity any longer than he did even if time were to be reversed. My Ka-chan, well, most people know her as the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Explained Naruto, confirming what the SNR with black sclera in the eyes and a black stripe running from the middle of his forehead and down the bridge Yaki-sanin already suspected. So, he has already made contact with the Kyuubi, and it has already sunken its claws into him. This is more complicated than I thought, I can't pretend around him, not with his chakra sensing abilities and definitely not with the Kyuubi as his ally, he'll see right through me. I won't be able to turn Naruto-kun into my loyal pawn it seems, manipulating him is near impossible. But there is no reason for him not to be my ally, we share the same loathing for Konoha and Sarutobi-sensei and he has shown a great interest in science. He also seems to have a bond with Kabuto, everything will be fine. Thought Orochimaru, lamenting the fact that he wouldn't be able to take over the boy's body when he completed his rebirth jutsu. I see, one more question though, why are you unaffected by my killing intent? Strong and elite Junins have trembled before me, yet you, a mere child are able to stand before my presence so casually. Why is that so? Asked Orochimaru offhandedly. This boy is shrouded in mystery, I can't afford to let my guard down around him, although, he doesn't seem like the type to betray someone without a just cause. Thought Orochimaru, a human's killing intent, no matter how strong said human may be, is but a drop in an ocean compared to Ka-chan's killing intent. What do you think would happen if a person was exposed to that kind of pressure on a daily basis? Wouldn't that person be able to develop a higher than normal tolerance to killing intent? Asked the boy rhetorically. Makes sense. I'm embarrassed that I never even considered that possibility. In any case, go and find little Yakumo-chan, she has a little surprise that she's been waiting for a week now to show you. Use your new sensing powers to track her. It will be good practice for your upcoming test and it will help you to quickly learn the layout of our base. Ordered Orochimaru. Test? Asked Naruto. Kukuku. Of course Naruto-kun, it is customary for us to test and confirm the success of an experiment by pitting the subject against a powerful opponent in a controlled environment. Be sure to prepare yourself physically and mentally, you only have at most an hour before we begin testing. Said Orochimaru. That makes sense. What are the rules? Asked Naruto. No seals or barriers, no weapons, no demon chakra and no genjutsu, everything else is allowed, except for killing. Make sure you don't kill your opponent, he is a very important part of our plans. Warned Orochimaru. Hi, I will prepare accordingly. May I be excused now? Orochimaru-sama, asked Naruto respectfully. Kukuku, can't wait to see little Yakumo-chan. Can you Naruto-kun, she's a lucky one to have a protector with so much potential. Don't mind us Naruto-kun, go along, your dear friend is waiting for you. Oh, and be careful, the others might not take an instant liking to you, they'll want you to prove yourself to them. Warned Orochimaru. Hi Orochimaru-sama, replied the blonde, running out of the heavy lab door with barely contained excitement and anticipation. Kabuto, said Orochimaru with a deadly tone, his usual amused expression vacant from his features. How may I help you, Orochimaru-sama? Asked Kabuto a little too cheerfully. That boy, is he trustworthy? Asked the Sannin. Orochimaru-sama, don't you get it? It isn't about his current worth as an ally, but his potential worth. Yakumo-chan, without Naruto-kun to fuss over her over the last 2 weeks, was forced to make new friends during Naruto-kun's absence. In fact, she, Karen, and Hyuga have become really close in the last week and a half or so, you know, being one of the few girls in Oto's shinobi and academy ranks. Kukuku, what a sly dog you are Kabuto-kun, those girls all have horrible pasts. No, rather, all those kids have horrible pasts even at such tender ages. You're counting on Naruto-kun and Yakumo-chan to form powerful bonds with those kids because of their similar pasts, aren't you? Asked Orochimaru, an amused smirk returning to his features. My Orochimaru-sama, you know me too well for my own good. Said Kabuto with equal amusement, pushing up his glasses with a trademark smirk hidden behind his hand. Kukuku, very well, we shall see how things develop very soon. I've been thinking though, how exactly did that girl escape Sarutobi-sensei's watch? It couldn't have been easy to get her out, even for you. Asked Orochimaru curiously. Hey, you give me too much credit Orochimaru-sama, I'm not that skilled yet you know. In any case, I didn't have to do anything actually, they did everything themselves, all I had to do was guide them to this location. Explained Kabuto, taking pride in being the one to put the gobsmacked expression that his master was currently wearing. Don't play games with me Kabuto. You expect me to believe that 2 6-year-old kids could ever be capable of such a feat no matter how talented they are? Asked Orochimaru menacingly, no longer amused anymore. You don't understand Orochimaru-sama, this isn't about whether you believe it or not, the situation will not change simply because you decide not to believe in it. The facts will remain the same regardless. Orochimaru-sama, said Kabuto with a sinister smirk. Don't patronize me Kabuto, tell me exactly what happened or become Manda's next meal. Your choice, hissed Orochimaru impatiently. Well, that would be a terrible fate. Very well, I will tell you. You see, Naruto-kun, for some unknown reason appears to have come into the possession of one of the Yondaime Hokage Hirushun no Jutsu Kunai. Said Kabuto, taking a breath for dramatic effect, taking in Orochimaru's fish-eyed expression with glee. Impossible, he couldn't have, trailed off Orochimaru in disbelief. Don't be hasty in your conclusions Orochimaru-sama, Naruto-kun doesn't know that technique. You see, Yakumo-chan was able to set up a powerful genjutsu on her watchers. In fact, it could be said that they were almost constantly under her genjutsu without them even knowing for the better part of a year now. Anyway, the jutsu is an instinct-suppressing genjutsu. They could sense Naruto-kun coming behind them somewhat, but their instincts, survival instincts included, were not allowing them to react until it was too late. Explained Kabuto. No one would expect 4ANBU level shinobi to die without a fight unless they came up against an opponent with powerful genjutsu, great speed, or instant transportation like Minato-kun. Naruto-kun using a Hirushun kunai to do the killing gives me the impression that they wanted to make it look like the Yondaime Hokage, or at least someone who knows his technique was responsible for the crime. Demo, Konoha has quality medical shinobi and the best genjutsu users from the Uchiha clan, there is no way they wouldn't have been able to detect any signs of the deceased being under the influence of genjutsu just before they died. It was a good idea but poorly executed because of their lack of experience. Said Orochimaru almost dismissively. Don't you think you're underestimating them just a tad bit too much, Orochimaru-sama? Asked Kabuto casually. No, what would make you think that? Asked Orochimaru curiously. Well, I never did say that the plan ended there. You see, Naruto-kun was able to replace Yakumo-chan's watchers with his shadow doppelgangers. That jutsu, together with Yakumo-chan's genjutsu and knowledge of her watcher's behavior and mannerisms, gave Naruto-kun the ability and information needed to impersonate her observers for just over 2 weeks. By that time that Konoha discovers the bodies, it will have already been too late to successfully conduct a genjutsu test and analysis on the decaying bodies. This in turn, means that they have virtually no choice but to assume that the person responsible must have used the Yondaime Hokage's jutsu, or that the culprit was in fact the Yondaime Hokage himself. Kuku. What an amazing child. No, I should rather say, what amazing children Naruto-kun and Yakumo-chan are. They are going to make powerful additions to my elite army, Kuku. Laughed Orochimaru maniacally. You know, Kabuto, you didn't say how exactly it was that Naruto-kun covered his own tracks. I would have thought that Sarutobi-sensei would have paid special attention to Minato's son. He was after all, Konoha's ultimate weapon. Asked Orochimaru. Naruto-kun is still in Konoha, as far as the Hokage and the rest of Konoha are aware that is. Replied Kabuto cryptically. Do I need to make you elaborate on that, Kabuto-kun? Said Orochimaru a little too cheerfully. Fed up of the boy's elusive manner of answering questions, it might have been amusing to play his little game at the beginning, but now it was just plain annoying. Of course not, Orochimaru-sama, that won't be necessary. You see, Naruto-kun's blood clone is still living in Konoha as his double and unaware secret agent. Naruto-kun was somehow able to replicate the Yondaime Hokage's 4 symbols seal and seal away what he said to be 6 taels worth of Yuki inside the blood clone. Furthermore, he was able to recreate the memory blocks that the Sandaime Hokage had placed on him before thanks to his Ka-chan. He also set up a memory block that would seal away the clone's knowledge of the Kyuubi's existence and the knowledge that it was a blood clone and not a real human to begin with. This way, not only was Naruto-kun able to escape without detection, but he also has a sleeper agent in the village in the form of his blood clone for as long as is necessary. Said Kabuto. The blood clone is an Uzumaki clan technique. Even the forbidden shadow clone jutsu of Konoha was originally an Uzumaki clan jutsu. And now the boy was able to recreate such an advanced seal and use it effectively to create a perfect double. Something is strange here. How is a 6-year-old boy able to achieve these feats? Wait a second, what am I, stupid? Of course. The Kyuubi was at some point sealed inside 2 powerful Uzumaki women. It would obviously have some knowledge on the Uzumaki clan techniques. Thought Orochimaru. Come with me, Kabuto, we have to go and retrieve Naruto-kun's opponent for the examination. You know how troublesome he can be at times. Said Orochimaru with Kabuto in tow. Naruto-kun, exclaimed Yakumo with excitement, running herself into the blonde's arms. Naruto, caught off guard not only by her mobility, but her strength too, fell flat on his back with the Kurama clan heiress snuggled on top of him. Yakumo-chan, was all the blonde said, wrapping his arms around the petite girl in a loving hug. Naruto-kun, I'm so glad you're okay, I was so worried. I thought you were never going to wake up, cried Yakumo with her face buried at the crook of the blonde's neck. Hee, you worry too much about me, Yakumo-chan, but I'm glad that you're safe. I was worried sick about you. Said Naruto with a kind smile while brushing the cute little girl's hair away from her face. Really? Asked Yakumo with a her best puppy eyes face. Hi, I couldn't stop panicking until I confirmed that you were truly safe with my own eyes. Even though I could sense through your chakra that you were okay, I still needed to confirm it with my eyes. Said Naruto, his right hand cupping and caressing her face lovingly. Oh Naruto-kun, sniff, that's so unmanly of you. I never thought you were such a softie, hee. Laughed Yakumo uncontrollably, pressing her index finger into his chest in a teasing gesture. Shut up, I'm not a softie, shouted Naruto, blushing furiously from embarrassment. Hee. Ahahaha, sure Naruto-kun, I totally believe you hee. Laughed Yakumo, she couldn't help it, he was so easy to tease sometimes and besides, he was so cute when he was flustered, her cute little fox. Why I'll show you soft. Shouted Naruto before flipping the girl over on her back and then initiating a devastating tickling attack on her vulnerable body parts. Ah ha, please ha, stop. Alright, I'm sorry ah ha. Apologized Yakumo in between a fit of giggles courtesy of her best friend's unrelenting attack on her. Hee, who's a softie now huh? Yakumo-chan, said Naruto, stretching the last syllable of his sentence teasingly. Their fun reunion was halted prematurely by a devastating surprise attack, but Naruto, with his sensing abilities was able to react just in time, completely avoiding the giant metal club that would have completely crushed them, a huge creator remaining where they used to be. Naruto, From his position standing on the wall with Yukumo in his arms, stared at the giant grotesque figure that was responsible for the attack, amazed by the sheer size and power of the humanoid creature if it could create such a huge creator from just one swing of that club. It looked like a male figure with a dark green full-body suit with long hair that covers its entire head and face, also covering its ears and eyes with its mouth sewn shut. The metal club seemed to be carried with its right hand. I can't believe that I let my guard down like that, even if I was just happy to see Yukumo-chan. It was no excuse. If it wasn't for my new sensor abilities, we might have both been dead now. And what on earth is that thing? Thought Naruto. To Yuya, what the hell are you doing, you baka? You almost killed Yukumo-chan. Screamed Karen angrily, angry that one of her closest friends had just attacked her newest friend with the intent to kill for no reason at all. Karen has red eyes, matching hair color, and an unusual hairstyle. Her hair is short, pointy, and unkempt on the right side, while it is long, pinned straight and combed on her left side. She wears brown glasses and her outfit consists of a lavender uniform common for Orochimaru's subordinates, short black shorts, and long black thigh-high stockings with black sandals. Shut the up, you! That fool was trying to do something strange to her. I was trying to save her from that sick shit-eating cum stain. Replied to Yuya with equal intensity. She has brown eyes and long untamed, and red hair with a black hat at the top with bandages wrapped around the sides. She is wearing a tan tunic with black spandex shorts and standard black shinobi sandals. You stupid bitch, she was in direct line of your attack and was pinned to the floor. There was no way she could have escaped that, screamed Karen furiously, her face red hot from anger. It almost looked like steam was going to get blown out of her ears. Che, I'm sure she could have escaped, said to Yuya casually, not willing to admit her mistake. Arg, I hate you, said Karen, pointing a shaky finger at her friend. Well, you too, you whore, replied to Yuya heatedly. So she was aiming to kill me and not Yukumo after all. Then, she is the one controlling that thing. Thought Naruto. Did you hear the music just before the attack? I think she is using chakra-enhanced sound waves to control it. Look at the flute in her hand. It is the only tool on her person. That is the secret to her technique, I'm sure of it. Said the great demoness. I see. In that case, I should be able to eventually predict her attack patterns by studying the chakra in the sound frequencies using my sensor abilities. Thought the blonde. You almost killed my reason for existing. I'm going to have to kill you for that, said Naruto coldly. Give it your best shot, cheese, replied the 7-year-old to Yuya, placing her flute on her lips in preparation for battle. I can only summon one doki at a time with my current chakra reserves, but that shit ain't a problem. I only need one to take care of this shithead. Thought to Yuya, you have already lost. I already know how to counter your technique. You need chakra to use and direct the sound vibrations and frequencies from the music in your flute in order to gain control of your monster. I, who can sense the chakra frequencies in your jutsu, can never lose to you. I will always know what move you are going to make before you strike. Said Naruto nonchalantly, trying to weaken the foul-mouthed girl's resolve. Impossible. Someone else with that kind of ability can't possibly exist. Could he be a sensor type of the same level as Karen? Thought to Yuya with wide eyes. No, what am I afraid of? I am one of Orochimaru-sama's elite disciples, one of the few chosen to be trained explicitly to become his bodyguards. I can never lose to this trash. Besides, he won't be able to anticipate the initial attacks even with his chakra sensing. He needs to at least have seen the movement at least once before he can anticipate an attack. All I have to do is end the battle with the initial attacks. That's all there is to it. Thought to Yuya, you'll have to deal with me too then. You won't defeat the both of us no matter how strong you think you are. Said Karen with determination shining in her eyes. All of you stop it now or I will put you all under the worst genjutsu that you can think of. Shouted Yukumo furiously. Everyone gulped nervously at Yukumo's threat. They all knew better than to take her threat lightly. Her genjutsus were close to unbreakable, and what made matters worse was that her genjutsu could take physical manifestations because of her ability to confuse the brain and make it believe that the effects in the illusion were really happening to the body. For example, if she were to put you in an illusion where your skin was burning, then your real skin would suffer the real effects as if it were literally on fire. Naruto-kun, these are my new friends, they kept me company while you were asleep. To Yuya, Karen, this Naruto-kun, he's the one I told you guys about, the one that saved me from Konoha, my best friend. Explained Yukumo, trying to break the tension between the two parties. To Yuya and Karen's eyes widened from shock, struggling to believe that they had tried to kill him without even knowing it. They knew almost everything there was to know about him. Yukumo had talked about her Naruto-kun non-stop. They felt like they knew him already. To think that they were about to kill him, or try to kill him. New friends, when did this happen? Asked Naruto curiously. Well, I was lonely and Orochimaru-sama wouldn't allow anyone to see you during your experiment. To Yuya and Karen tried to cheer me up and we ended up getting close we became friends. Answered Yukumo nervously, feeling like she had done something wrong for some reason she couldn't understand, or maybe she felt like she had betrayed Naruto-kun by having other friends that were not him. I see, Were they good to you? Do you think you can trust them? Asked Naruto, speaking about the two girls as if they were not there at all. Hi, I trust them, Naruto-kun, you're not mad at me are you? Asked Yakumo. No, I can never be mad at you. Said Naruto with a smile, his deep blue eyes captivating Yakumo so much that she had to avert her eyes from him to hide her embarrassment. Naruto-kun, could you please put me down now? Asked Yakumo shyly. She had just been so happy to see him back and so preoccupied that she hadn't noticed how close he was holding her against his body. It made it worse that he was holding her bridal style against his torso. Oh, Gamanasai, said Naruto hastily, jumping onto the floor and releasing her from his bridal style embrace with great haste, a small red hue forming around his whisker markings. Hey, so why don't you properly introduce me to your friends? Asked Naruto, scratching the back of his head to hide his embarrassment. Okay well, the one with the foul mouth is Tayuya-chan of the North Gate, she is one of Orochimaru-sama's Sound 4 elite trainees and the one with the glasses is Karen-chan, she is Kabuto-sama's apprentice. Said Yakumo. Oh okay, Ohio Tayuya-chan, Karen-chan, I'm Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto, it is nice to meet you. Said Naruto with his hand stretched out for a handshake. Did you say Namikaze? But isn't that the name of the fourth Hokage? Are you related to him? Asked Karen with wide eyes. Tayuya's mouth on her side was hanging agape after that. She didn't know that was the name of the fourth Hokage, damn she should have paid more attention on her history lessons. Hi, I am his biological son. Said Naruto, shocking the duo even more. Sure Karen had already figured out that they were related, but she didn't expect them to be father and son. Sugoi, no wonder Yakumo-chan and Kabuto-sensei speak so highly of you. Is it okay if I feel you? Asked Karen with a light blush on her face. Sure why not, if it will prove to you that I am real then I don't see the problem. Said Naruto, placing Karen's hand on his chest. The girl blushed furiously, not having expected something like that, she had just wanted to feel out his chakra with her mind's Kagura of the eye, not this. Get your paws off her you pervert, shouted Tayuya, smacking the blonde's hand away with her flute. Hey, I'm not a pervert, shouted the blonde indignantly. Sure, you could have fooled me, like I didn't see how you were groping Yakumo earlier. Now you're trying to do the same to Karen, I won't allow it. Shouted Tayuya, pointing at the blonde with her flute. What the hell are you talking about? I wasn't groping anyone, you're starting to sound like a paranoid, insecure, and jealous wife. Countered the blonde. Why you, how dare you insult me you shithead. All she asked you was if she could feel your chakra, not your body you cum-stained wanking pervert. Shouted Tayuya. How was I supposed to know that? Said Naruto, blushing slightly from embarrassment. I don't know, how about asking what she meant like a normal person instead of sticking your head into the gutter? Asked Tayuya mockingly. Hey shithead, did you hear me, hey? Shouted Tayuya, angry at being ignored like that, not realizing that Naruto was having an internal conversation with his inner beast. Hey Ka-chan, I'm going to block our connection for a while, she'll freak out if she senses you without prior knowledge of your existence. Said Naruto. That is a good idea, do it. Said Kyubi with a lazy yawn. Alright thanks, I promise this will not happen again, I will tell them about you, I'm not ashamed of you, I love you, Ka-chan. Said the blonde. A small tight knot formed on the demoness's stomach from the blonde's declaration, with an invisible blush on her cheeks she returned and meant the gesture. I love you too Sochi-kun, replied Kyubi, feeling a strange but happy feeling in her chest area where her heart should be. Karen-chan, are you okay? Asked Naruto, breaking Karen from her concentration. She blushed a little at the chan suffix, they barely knew each other and he was already using such an affectionate suffix with her name. Hi, I'm okay, why? Asked Karen. Well, you were making strange faces, at first you seemed happy and content, and then concerned, and after that a little freaked out and then happy again and so on. Was there something wrong with my chakra? Asked Naruto. Hi, your chakra is strange, it has 3 different tones to it, one bright and warm like the sun itself and the other 2 both sinister, with one being more sinister than the other. Also, I couldn't go as deep as I wanted to go, it was like something was blocking me away, like you were trying to hide some part of yourself. Said Karen. I see, the 3 tones of my chakra represent my normal chakra, the second part that is affected by Ka-chan's chakra that is siphoned into my chakra system by 2 Sans seal and the third one must be a result of the implanted DNA material. Thought Naruto. I knew you couldn't be trusted, what the were you trying hide hush shithead? Asked Tayuya, boring her eyes straight through the blonde's head with her intense stare, her face so close to his that their lips were almost touching. Shut up, Naruto-kun doesn't have to tell you anything, shouted Yakumo. No. It's okay Yakumo-chan. You said that they could be trusted, and that they were your friends, I see no need to keep it a secret from them. Said Naruto. But, did you tell them about yours, Yakumo-chan? Asked Naruto. Hi, replied Yakumo. And did they accept you? Asked Naruto. Hi, said Yakumo. Then don't worry, they should accept me too. Said Naruto. No way, you have the Edo demon too? Asked Hyuga, pointing a shaky finger at the blonde. No, I have the Kyubi no Kitsune sealed inside of me by the Yondaime Hokage. Said the blonde, shocking the two prospective kunoichi. No way, your own father sealed a demon inside of you. Is that why you were hated in Konoha? Asked Karen with wide teary eyes. Yes, was all Naruto said. Man, that is terrible, I would have killed my dad if he did something like that to me. Said a male voice from behind the trio. Naruto turned around to see three boys that didn't look more than a year or two older than him. Nobody asked you, Kidamaru Baka, shouted Karen at the source of the voice. Che, like I care what you think, 4 eyes. Said Kidamaru, a dark-skinned, black-haired, and black-eyed 7-year-old looking boy wearing a black sleeveless top and black spandex shorts with a tan tunic over the top that bears a symbol for the sound 4 and a rope belt tied around his waist. He is also wearing arm warmers and has bandages wrapped around his legs with black ninja sandals. The most unique traits about him though are the 2 extra pairs of arms situated on the sides of his torso. I can't kill him, he is already dead. You look like you could be good at taijutsu though, replied the blonde. Huh, actually, I'm more of a long-range type. What made you think I was a taijutsu-based type of fighter though? Asked Kidamaru curiously. It is not that I thought you were a taijutsu type, I was just thinking that with 4 extra limbs, you could create a very powerful and unpredictable taijutsu style. After all, nobody trains or practices to fight against someone with that many arms, it could be a great advantage for you. Said Naruto analytically. Hehehehe, I like you, I think you and I will get along pretty well, you should hang out with the boys sometime. Offered Kidamaru, offering the blonde a handshake with one of his 6 arms. Sure, why not, replied Naruto with a smile on his face, sealing the deal with a firm handshake. Che, whatever you do just make sure you don't offer to buy fat shit Jirobo any food or you'll be broke for months. Said to Yuya, you shouldn't curse so much to Yuya-chan, it is unbefitting of a lady to speak like that. Chastised Jirobo, a tall, chubby 7-year-old boy with brown eyes and an orange-colored mafak with orange tufts of hair behind his ears. He is however not just fat as there are signs of muscle mass beneath his chubby appearance and is wearing the black spandex shorts with black shinobi sandals and a tan sleeveless tunic with a purple rope belt tied around his waist. Yay, since you know so much about being a lady, why don't you start acting like one at the dinner table, fatso? And stop using affectionate suffixes with my name, replied to Yuya irritably. I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that and invite our new comrade to come and share a meal with us, how about it, Namikaze-san? Asked Jirobo. Sure, that would be cool, my treat ne? Offered Naruto. Sure, why not, replied Jirobo with a sinister glint in his eyes. That won't be necessary, you're the new member of our super squad, why don't you just let us treat you instead, consider it a welcome gesture. Said Sakin hastily, a 7-year-old boy with dark gray hair with one bang that covers his right eye. Sakin seems to be wearing turquoise lipstick and brown eyeliner, making his appearance seem more feminine. He is also wearing a brown tunic with long black wristbands, black skin-tight shorts and a purple rope belt around his waist with black ninja sandals. The boy is also wearing a dark red bead-like necklace around his neck and has a giant scroll attached to his back. The most peculiar thing about his appearance though is the second head that seems to be sticking out of his upper back. Nah, that's okay, I insist. Said Naruto. What a fool, can't he see that I was trying to save him from Jirobo? Oh well, ain't my problem anymore, at least I tried. Thought Sakin. Alright then, your treat it is. Said Sakin with an amused smirk. Kukuku, I see you have already made some friends, Naruto-kun, you work really fast don't you? Said Orochimaru with a hissing serpent-like voice. Just trying to settle into my new home as quickly as possible, Orochimaru-sama. Replied Naruto. Unlike the others, he, Yakumo, and Karen were not shocked by his sudden appearance, having already sensed him coming quite a while ago. Kukuku, so it seems Naruto-kun, so it seems. Said Orochimaru. Orochimaru-sama, greeted the Sound Force simultaneously, each of them dropping down to one knee and bowing their heads in respect for their master. Is it time for the test already? Damn, time flies fast, I didn't even get a chance to warm up. Said Naruto, shaking his head dramatically. I'm afraid so, Naruto-kun, come, walk with me. Ordered Orochimaru, turning around to walk out of the large training ground, not waiting for the blonde to reply. Hi, saluted Naruto running up behind the snake Sanin. Wait, is it okay if we can also observe the test, Orochimaru-sama? Asked Yakumo. The snake Sanin stopped for a few seconds to consider it before giving a firm nod in confirmation. Of course, in fact, I insist that you all come and watch, it should be a good show. Replied Orochimaru. If it's a boy, I won't kill him, if it's a girl, I will kill her. What the hell is wrong with him? Has he gone mad? Thought Naruto. He was inside a large hall that looked like it was some kind of training room or battle area. In the middle of the room was a 4x4 meter square cube made out of what looked like fiberglass. In the center of the cube was an orange-haired boy that did not look much older than he was, although significantly taller. The boy has spiky orange hair and similar colored eyes. He is a well-built 8-year-old boy and the only item of clothing on him are black knee-length shorts. It seems like he hasn't noticed my presence yet. Maybe this is some kind of surveillance box, like the ones used for interrogation. He cannot see what is on the outside but people on the outside can see what is happening inside. It would make sense, given his apparent violent personality, thought Naruto, watching the glass cube sink back into the ground, except this time not taking boy with it. No, I have changed my mind. If it is a girl, I won't kill her. Yes, the boy, I'll kill him if it is a boy. Shouted the boy hysterically with an expression that has the word insanity written all over it. What is your name? Asked Naruto, staring at the boy with a rigid, battle-ready posture, realizing the danger he might be in with the boy no longer safely contained. My name is Jugo. Jet booster jump, screamed the boy now identified as Jugo. Jugo, with incredible speed launched himself at his next victim, creating 3 jet-like appendages on his back and blasting himself forward at incredible speeds. Jugo, in mid-air, altered his arm into a piston before blasting a large concentration of chakra from the jet booster attached to his elbow to increase the velocity and power behind his attack. Die, piston fist, shouted Jugo, swinging his arm violently at the blonde. Naruto, not having expected an attack of that speed, was unable to dodge in time and received a heavy punch that blasted him into the wall. Ha 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 ha, ah ha ha ha, I killed him, I killed the boy, ah ha 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 ha, laughed Jugo maniacally. Meanwhile in a different room sat 8 individuals watching the battle through an overhead projector seal. The battle arena was full of reinforcement seals and most importantly, at least for the spectators, surveillance seals. The surveillance seals were linked to the overhead projector seal that projected the battle on the wall in 6 different angles to make sure that they didn't miss a single thing in the battle. Naruto-kun, cried Yakumo with her hand covering her mouth in shock. And no way, he can't be dead. Said Karen, tears threatening to spill from her eyes too. She hadn't spent that much time with the blonde, but Yakumo had told her so much about him and his painful past over the last 2 weeks that she might as well have known him that well. He was also kind and loving towards his friends from what she had seen of him. I wouldn't write off Naruto-kun so soon if I were you, Karen-chan. Said Kabuto with a trademark upwards push of his glasses, not excluding the smirk etched on his face. What do you mean, Kabuto-sensei? Asked the 6-year-old Karen. Jugo's attack should have caused a lot more damage to the wall than that. Just watch, take a closer look and you'll see what I mean. Said Kabuto cryptically. I'm still alive, what is this? These scales on my body. Oh, Orochimaru-sama will be pleased. It seems like I have been able to manifest the scales of the great Samahata. The experiment was a success. Thought Naruto. Jugo stared at the, for lack of a better word, monster in front him. No longer was there any blonde hair or even human skin on his opponent's body, just large, thick scales covering everything. Even the top of his head was now turned into spiky scales, though they still resembled the shape of his hair. The deep blue eyes were still visible and he had what looked like gills on his neck. What happened? Why did my attack lose power? No one has ever successfully blocked my piston fist before, asked Jugo, the cursed markings spreading even more across his face. His left eye was already monster-looking, with black sclere and golden irises. Your chakra, I ate your chakra from your attack, it was so delicious. I'm going to shave you into pieces, shouted Naruto, swinging his scale-covered arm against the orange-haired boy's face. Too slow, destroying axe fist, shouted Jugo, forming a massive axe on the back of his forearm and intercepting the blonde's attack. Boom, a massive booming shockwave destroyed parts of the arena upon impact, creating a massive crater below the 2 boys. The wall on Naruto's back, where some of his scales had projected into, started cracking from the impact despite the reinforcement seals placed on them. Ha 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 ha, you're stronger than others, I'm going to enjoy killing you even more, piston fist, style 1. Screamed Jugo, creating 2 more jet-like appendages on his right elbow. Too slow, said Naruto in a manner not too different from the one Jugo used to mock him just moments ago. Naruto, with quick thinking, channeled as much chakra as he could into his legs and pushed himself off of the wall behind him to gain momentum, delivering a powerful punch on Jugo's torso that sent him sailing into the other side before he could execute his own deadly attack. Naruto absorbed so much chakra from him that all the chakra Jugo had gathered in his pistons diapered completely. Jugo landed harshly on his back and his body dug a long trench into the ground, such was the power behind the attack. My body has gotten stronger somehow. There is no way the force of my legs should have propelled me with that much speed and strength. And there is no way that I should have been able to withstand the force of his attacks even with the scales to protect me. I should have been sent flying and the pressure on my joints should have been too much to withstand. In any case, this battle is over. There is no way he should be able to fight after that. I took a lot of chakra from him and shaved chunks off of his torso. He's definitely out cold. Thought the blonde just before his eyes widened in shock, watching the orange-haired Jugo get up on his feet despite his injuries, albeit with sluggish movements. He, hey, ha 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 ha, I was right, you're much more fun than the others. I am going to enjoy killing you, I'll destroy you, shouted Jugo, completely submitting to his killing tendencies. His skin turned a completely darker shade with black sclera in the eyes and a black stripe running from the middle of his forehead and down the bridge of his nose. A number of cannon-like appendages grew on his back, contributing to his more than intimidating appearance, and the injuries on his torso regenerated rapidly. How can he still have this much chakra after I absorbed so much of it? What kind of monster is he? This form looks too dangerous for my liking. I don't think I can keep up with him in a taijutsu battle anymore. He was already too fast in his previous form. I don't want to have to see what kind of surprises he has for me in this form. I'll have to change tactics, thought Naruto before going through rapid hand seals. Water element. Exploding water colliding wave, shouted the blonde before spitting out a ridiculous amount of water from his mouth, filling up the whole battle arena to the brim. Naruto's body, now submerged underwater, went through another change. His scales receded back into his body, but only for his body to transform again. His skin turned a darkish blue color, his teeth sharpened and became shark-like, and a relatively long, shark-like tail grew on his back. His face completely turned shark-like and gills formed on his neck and shoulders with shark fins growing at the upper back of his arms with an even bigger pointed fin growing on his spine. So, this is why the DNA source was referred to as the Great Shark Skin Sword. Interesting, let us see what I can do in this form, thought Naruto. This guy, he also had another transformation level in store. I have no choice, I have to use that technique and end the battle in an instant, otherwise I'll just drown to death, thought Jugo. Jugo, with the intent to kill his foe, manipulated the chakra cannons on his back to face directly towards the location of his opponent, adding even more cannons in the process. This is it, he won't be fast enough to escape this. Even if he absorbs the chakra, he'll still die before he can absorb it all. And even if he dodges it, the wall behind him will be destroyed and the water will leak out. I'll be able to breathe again. Cursed Seal Chakra Blast, said Jugo mentally, firing numerous chakra blasts from his cannons to form a devastating technique. I can't afford to get hit by that, thought the blonde, swimming away from the danger at super fast speeds, so much so that Jugo didn't even see him move. Boom, the power behind Jugo's attack was immense, but so was the power of the reinforcement seals protecting the walls of the arena. As a result, the damage to the walls from Jugo's attack was nowhere near the level that he had expected, but the plan was successful nonetheless. A small hole could be seen on the heavily damaged wall where the water was slowly leaking out. I can't believe the wall was strong enough to withstand that, but one more shot will do it. One more shot before I kill this pest, thought Jugo furiously before something hard, fast, and painful knocked him to the side at incredible speed. Jugo instantly noticed how his attack was immediately cancelled upon impact, his chakra disappearing from his cannons. Before he could crash against the far wall on the right, he was knocked to his left again, and again, and again and again, until it got to the point where he just couldn't defend himself at all. He wasn't a bad swimmer, but against this kind of opponent, he might as well have been. He couldn't even follow the guy's movements at all, and not only did the attacks hurt him badly, but his chakra was being devoured very rapidly. The absorption process is harder and slower when I have to suck out the chakra directly from his chakra coils, but still, any normal person should have been out of chakra by now. If I didn't know better, I could have sworn that I was fighting against a Jinchuriki. Nevertheless, I have the advantage here. He'll be knocked out in no time at all, thought Naruto, swimming into the mad boy's back and delivering a devastating, chakra-draining headbutt. Kuso, the water level is dropping too slow. I don't think I can hold on any longer, were Jugo's last thoughts before he passed out from chakra exhaustion, his skin receding back to its normal color and texture. This feeling, this ominous feeling at the pit of my soul, I have to hurry back home. Something is not right here, something is horribly wrong, I can feel it, thought Itachi with an uncharacteristic hysterical facial expression, tree jumping with such haste and reckless abandon that some of the thick branches he landed on were breaking down immediately upon contact. Sasuke, Ka-chan, please be safe, I'm on my way, thought Itachi just as he landed on the dirt road, running on the straight path towards Konoha with haste. Uchiha clan compound. Ka-chan, I'm scared, I don't want to die, I don't want to lose you, Ka-chan, whispered a little boy with black hair that has a blue tint and onyx eyes. His bangs hang on both sides of his face to roughly frame his cheeks and is spiky in the back. The boy is wearing a black, long-sleeved shirt with a raised collar and the Uchiha crest on the back with white arm warmers and bare feet. Tears were freely flowing from his eyes. He knew that the situation was hopeless. His Ka-chan was already injured and his brother was only set to return from his mission in almost a week. To top it off, the rest of his clan was already dead. There was no one to save them. Even if there was someone else from the clan alive, there wasn't much that the little 8-year-old boy believed they could do to save them. Only his brother was strong enough to fight on par with that traitor. Even he knew that. Shish. Everything will be okay, Sasuke-chan. Mommy will protect you from harm. Sniff, all we have to do is get to the Hokage and report what happened. Until then, sniff, Ka-chan won't let anything happen to you. I promise. Trailed off Makoto, stopping dead on her tracks, her eyes wide from pure unadulterated shock. Her sudden halt caused her son, whom she had been dragging along, to crash onto her behind, although she barely noticed that, her mind clouded with fear and anxiety. How did he get there without me noticing? I knew he was very good with the Shushin no Jutsu, but this is ridiculous. There was no sound at all, no chakra trail to track, and my Sharingan didn't detect his presence until he was already standing before me. Is he really using a Shunshin? Or is he using some kind of transportation jutsu? Thought Makoto fearfully. She was scared. She couldn't even remember a time when she was so frightened. Not even on her first official mission as a genin was she so scared. She was not scared for herself though, but for her children. If she died here, then who would protect Sasuke-chan from this man? Even if Sasuke lived, she didn't want him to grow up alone without any parents. She knew how horrible the life of an orphan could be, not from her own experiences, but she had seen it firsthand from her friend Kushina and her husband, and even their son. Kushina, Minato, I'm so sorry. I failed you as a friend, haven't I? What have I been doing all this time? What have I done to protect your child, to honor your sacrifice? I failed your son, but I won't fail my own son too. Sniff, I will live, I will survive this curse and protect my children, and then I will adopt your son and take him as my own. I won't allow my family, our family, to perish. I promise, shouted Makoto with a fierce determination, blazing through rapid hand seals, the three tomoe on each of her eyes spinning menacingly. Ka-chan, who is she talking to? Thought Sasuke, watching his mother blaze through hand seals that he could barely see in shock. He never knew his mother was a shinobi too. He'd always thought that she had just taken care of them as a loving mother forever. Stupid really, but still, it always felt like that to him. Yes, that's it. I like the look you have in your eyes. That's what I wanted to see. That look of hope, determination, and self-belief. I like it, and I like it even better when I see the look of despair, shame, and fear that follows when I have completely crushed all of that hope and determination. Said Shisui with a deadly stare in his Sharingan eyes. He was wearing his regular, full ANBU outfit with a tanto strapped on his back and the usual high-collared blue, short-sleeved top with a white armor over the top, concealing the clan symbol on his back. Fire element. Grand fireball technique. Screamed Ou Makoto, placing her right hand over her mouth and blowing her large, violent ball of fire through her funnel-shaped hand. Sasuke subconsciously noted how big his mother's fireball was compared to the one that he had displayed for his father. Nice try, but a technique that slow will never hit me. I am however impressed by the sheer size of it. Not even Itachi has been able to make one that size. Said Shisui from behind Makoto and Sasuke, preparing to remove his aunt's head from her shoulders. Impossible. How did he get there so fast? How did he dodge a direct attack of that size so fast? This isn't real, it has to be a dream, it has to. Thought Sasuke hysterically. I'm so pathetic, I couldn't even protect myself, never mind my family. Sasuke-kun, Itachi-kun, I'm so sorry. Thought Makoto, resigning herself to her impending death. Clang. A loud clanging sound echoed in the deathly silence, shocking all three other parties present. Makoto, who had closed her eyes, snapped them open in silent shock. It was too good to believe, but that chakra, it can't be, it's what are you doing here, Itachi? You're only supposed to come back in 4 days from your mission. Asked Shisui in slight shock, breaking Makoto from her thoughts and confirming what she already had suspected. Shisui, I'm only going to ask this once, and you better have a good explanation. Why does it look like you were about to kill my mother and brother? Asked Itachi. His eyes were almost dead, with no emotion at all, but everyone present could feel the intensity of the fury and killing intent rolling off of him in waves. Ni-san, stuttered Sasuke with wide eyes, shocked but yet more than ever happy to see his big brother. Ka-chan, take Sasuke with you and find a safe spot to hide. I'll take care of this. Ordered Itachi authoritatively with a no-nonsense kind of tone. Hisochi-kun, arigato, and Itachi-kun, said Makoto. What is it? Asked Itachi. Be careful, and make sure you kill him. I don't want to lose you, I love you. Said Makoto with tears in her eyes. I will kill him, I promise, and I love you too, now go. Said Itachi, not daring to even turn and look at her one last time. That would be a bad mistake and everyone knew it. Hi, let's go, Sasuke-chan, shouted Makoto, grabbing Sasuke by his tiny right hand and dragging him along the dirt road. I can kill you now that there is no one to interfere, Amaterasu. Said Itachi, the tomoe in his right Sharingan eye instantly connected to form a tri-pronged shuriken, launching black flames in an attempt to incinerate his opponent from point-blank range. Shisui, in an inhuman feat of reflex, skill, and speed, dodged the technique with an instant shunsen, appearing on the younger prodigy's left-hand side in order to blindside his dangerous right eye and aiming a slash towards his midsection. Itachi was barely able to keep up with his best friend, or rather, former best friend and first cousin. In fact, he wasn't able to keep up at all, the only reason he was able to protect himself being due to the arm guard on his left arm, otherwise he would never have been quick enough to swing his sword around to parry the attack. Cling. You've grown quite well, Itachi, and I see you have mastered the use of the Mangekyo Sharingan that I gave to you," said Shishui with a cruel smirk on his face, pushing his blade harder against his younger cousin. "What kind of fool do you take me for? I gained this power so that I can never lose a loved one again. I gained this power in order to protect my family and loved ones. This has nothing to do with you," said Itachi, pushing back against the 16-year-old, homicidal prodigy with the arm guard on his left hand and swinging his right arm over the top, aiming a vertical slash on Shishui's collarbone. Shishui, quickly realizing the danger, shunshined again out of Itachi's reach, stopping not more than 10 meters in front of his opponent. Overpowering him is impossible, it seems. His shunshin and reaction time are just too fast. Not only that, but he is also somehow able to bypass all the side effects of the shunshin no jutsu. He doesn't leave a chakra tail, he doesn't have a chakra build-up phase before initiating the jutsu, and his technique is silent, leaving no sound trails either. It would however have been just fine if that was all there was to it, but no, that isn't all there is to it, far from it. His technique is at least 2 times faster than any shunshin I have ever heard of, and he has mastered the Sharingan visual prowess to the point that he doesn't even suffer from the disorientation that a person is subjected to after using shunshin no jutsu. No. Mastering his Sharingan has nothing to do it. Many others have mastered the Sharingan. His eyes are just special, a 1 in a million eye that surpasses the visual propensity of all others. How am I supposed to take down someone like that, someone who can't be touched? Thought Itachi before his eyes widened in realization. Genjutsu, that is the only way to beat him, but this is the best genjutsu user the Uchiha clan has ever had since Uchiha Izuna. Can he really be beaten with a genjutsu? Thought Itachi, a feeling of doubt creeping its way into the surface of his consciousness. What's wrong, Itachi? Is this really the best you can do? I'm very disappointed in you. I had higher hopes for you. I even killed your girlfriend just so that you can have those eyes, and this is all you have done with the gift that I have given to you, really now? Asked Shishui mockingly. What are you talking about? Masaki died of a rare virus that flushed her chakra and turned it into a poison against her body. How could you have killed her? I saw her die in front of my eyes. Asked Itachi in shock and anger, unable to allow himself to believe in such a thing. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Well, let us just say that I have my sources, who have very knowledgeable sources of their own, sources that consider it child's play to replicate that level of a virus in a form where it can be injected directly into the bloodstream. You should be grateful. I had to use Kodo Amatsu Kami on Dr. Yakushi to get him to inject her during a checkup she was scheduled for. That was 2 years ago. I won't be able to use that technique for another 8 years now. This is a sacrifice I made just so that I could give you those eyes. Now stop being an ungrateful brat and thank me already. If you apologize, I might just let you live, you know. Ahahahaha. Laughed Shishui maniacally with what could and can only be considered an insane expression on his face. You, whispered Itachi, his bangs covering his face darkly. Speak up. I can't hear you. I want to hear you apologize loud and clearly. Shouted Shishui. Why? You bastard. I know why you killed the clan. I'm not stupid, you know. I knew you were a double agent all this time. I knew the clan wanted to attack the village, and I know about how unfair our clan has been treated. And I also know that the solo mission I was sent on was in order to get me out of the village so that you may be able to slaughter the clan with success. I know all of this. It was easy to see with these eyes of mine. Trailed off Itachi, leaving Shishui fish-eyed with his jaw hanging agape, shocked that Itachi had seen right through his act. Itachi, you, but to go this far, shouted Itachi, cutting off Shishui mid-sentence. Ka-chan, Sasuke, and Masaki, they're all innocent. They knew nothing of the planned rebellion. They were not involved. How dare you involve them in this? How dare you kill my Masaki? I'll kill you. Shouted Itachi uncharacteristically, a gleam of insanity creeping into his eyes. The tomoe in his left eye were next to transform into a shuriken shape. You'll pay for this, Tsukiyomi, shouted Itachi hysterically. Shishui didn't know what had happened. 1 second he was standing a few meters from his rival, and the next thing he knew he was tied down to a cross in a strange world with a red moon in the dark sky. Also, everything seemed to be in black and white. This is the world of Tsukiyomi. In this world, I am a god itself. I control everything in here, even the time and space. This jutsu can't be dispelled. Hence, for the next 72 hours, I will pass judgment unto you for all your sins and transgressions. This is for Masaki, and this is for trying to kill my precious Ka-chan and Otudo. 71 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds, 71 hours 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Said Itachi, proceeding to stab his opponent in many places around his torso, adding a clone of himself after each stab to help him. Arg, gua, ah, cried Shishui in pain, feeling the worst kind of pain he had ever felt in his life. Some of the stab wounds were not meant to be survived, and some of them should have exceeded his pain threshold and put him in a coma, but neither that nor death seemed to be possible in this world, forcing him to endure what his brain would not have otherwise allowed him to. How does it feel, huh? How does it feel when you're the one at the receiving end of the pain, huh, Shishui ni? Asked Itachi in mad elation, somehow feeling overjoyed by his actions. Maybe this was what they meant when they talked about the bitter sweetness of vengeance. The torture session carried on like that for almost 3 days. Please end it, just end it already. I can't take any more of this, cried Shishui, the bangs of his hair hanging down over his face. Yes, I believe we have come to the end of your torture education. I will ruthlessly kill you now without remorse like the lowly scum that you are, said one of the many Itachi clones in the crowd, unsheathing his tanto and preparing to remove the genjutsu prodigy's head. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Itachi-kun, said a voice strangely familiar from behind the clone. The clone, and all the others turned around to see what was going on, only for all their eyes to widen in shock. There, a few feet behind them stood a healthy Uchiha Shisui looking no different than he did before they captured him in the Tsukiyomi, except for one difference, his left eye had taken a Mangekyo Sharingan form. Why? How did you get there? Asked the clones simultaneously. What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time, replied Shisui nonchalantly. Nani, if you're there then who have we been? Asked the clones simultaneously. The person you have been torturing all this time is Uchiha Itachi, replied Shisui with a cruel smirk on his face. The clones, all in shock, simultaneously whooped their heads around, only to stare in shock at the unbelievable truth of Shishui's words. There on the cross, with numerous stab wounds on his body, was Uchiha Itachi, impaled on the cross helplessly. Hey, Itachi, you must be no doubt wondering what on earth is happening, aren't you? Well, I'll do you a favor and explain it you. This is the second power of my ocular powers, the power born of my left eye, Sakanade. With this genjutsu I can collapse whatever world I'm in and create an reversed and inverted world, where everything is the opposite of what it is supposed to be. In this world, left is right, up is down, front is back, and Shisui on the cross is actually Itachi on the cross. Everything is inverted. I must command you on such a powerful genjutsu, Itachi-kun. Tsukiyomi really is an amazing genjutsu. I would never have been able to break it until too much damage had been done already. To think that you were able to force me to resort to this is a testament of your growth and skill. You should be proud of yourself, said Shisui in a condensing tone, even though he was complimenting his friend turned foe. He created his own world inside my Tsukiyomi. How is something like that even possible? I can't believe I was tricked into torturing myself for almost 3 days. To think that I was the one screaming in pain all this time, how pathetic, thought Itachi. 3, 2, 1. 72 hours ended shortly after Itachi's latest thoughts, and the two combatants found themselves back once again in the real world. Itachi's left eye was bleeding profusely, so much so that the blood was trickling down on the ground in front of him, and his breaths were short and haggard, a sign of an exhausted and severely injured person. Not only that, but his legs were shaking and his arms trembling. It was taking him every reserve of his willpower just to remain standing, much less fight against an S-class homicidal criminal. Hey, you look like you're going to die on your feet, Itachi. You know, I didn't want to have to kill you. I wanted to leave you alive as the sole surviving Uchiha. I wanted you to hate me with all of your being, and I wanted to make your goal to be revenge against me. This way, you could one day kill me and become the hero of Konoha that defeated the despicable and unforgivable criminal and scourge of the village. I wanted you to keep the flame burning, rebuild the Uchiha clan as the loyal and proud shinobi clan of Konoha, and I wanted you to break the barrier between our clan and the village and become the first Uchiha Hokage. I did everything I did with this goal in mind. But now that I know just how much of the truth you know, I'm going to have to kill you and let Sasuke live instead. He was my backup plan after all, explained Shisui. I won't let you, cough, get your hands on him, said Itachi, coughing up globs of blood from his mouth. We'll see, was all Shisui said, disappearing from Itachi's view and appearing on his right side in an instant with his sword poised to stab him under his arm on his kidney. Itachi quickly tried to parry the attack, but to his great shock and Shishui's amusement, instead felt something extremely hot piercing him through his left shoulder from behind. Itachi looked to his left side, only to his amazement, instead of Shishui's tanto, as he expected, to be piercing his shoulder, was what looked like a bright red sword made out of chakra. This is fire-natured chakra that has been concentrated and solidified into this form with shape manipulation. But I have never heard of such a level of combining shape and nature manipulation. There aren't even any flames of fire surrounding the sword, it just looks like red chakra, yet I can tell with my eyes that this is fire manipulation. Shishui, just what kind of training have you been doing? You defy everything that I have been taught and discovered about ninjutsu. Just what are you? Wondered Itachi. Fire style. Saber. This is a jutsu of my own creation. This jutsu condenses and concentrates fire-natured chakra into this sword shape. causing chakra vibrations that exponentially increase the penetrating and incinerating power of my fire techniques to a level of my own. Itachi, this sword is hotter than the sun itself and will pierce anything that I wish to destroy. You have no chance of winning, give up. Said Shisui arrogantly. Did you know that the first thing you taught me was to never underestimate my opponents, no matter how much I know about them? Asked Itachi with a small smile on his face, his body shimmering slightly and even becoming intangible before completely disappearing. Yusaka Magatama, whispered Itachi from a small distance behind Shisui, launching a shuriken-shaped energy made up of 3 Magatama connected together by a small string, causing the jutsu to spin rapidly like a shuriken at great speeds. Boom, the technique crashed on the ground and exploded upon impact, creating a loud booming sound that left a giant crater on the ground. When the dust and debris settled down, Itachi was able to see a significant splat of blood on the ground. It's over, I can't believe it, this is too good to be true. Thought Itachi with a tired smile on his face. What's with the smug expression, Itachi, you look like someone that has just won a difficult battle. Asked Shisui, who was now standing behind his opponent, staring with an impressed expression on his face at the spiritual entity that Itachi had been able to manifest around his body. So this is the third power of your Mangekyou Sharingan, Susanoo, impressive, Itachi. Thought Shisui. How? Asked Itachi, not really that surprised that his opponent was still alive. It had been too good to be true anyway if you asked him. I told you before, in my world, front is back, up is down, and left is right, Shisui in front of Itachi is Shisui behind Itachi. But more importantly, that illusionary technique you used to trick me, that was Uchiha Izuna-sama's forbidden kinjutsu wasn't it? A powerful illusionary ninjutsu that distorts the time and space itself, a clone technique that can even fool the best sensor-type shinobi. Impressive, that you have been able to learn such a technique. Was that your trump card for defeating me? Asked Shisui passively, trying to play off the pain on his left arm that was bleeding profusely. I don't have to explain anything to you, you can't do anything to me, all your jutsu have become useless before my eyes, nothing can penetrate my Susanoo. Gwa, grunted Itachi, cut off mid-sentence by a sharp and burning pain in his right shoulder this time. I thought I already told you, my fire style, Saber's incinerating power will cut through anything like a knife through butter, Susanoo included. Said Shisui with his right arm extended forward, a red chakra emanating from his hand. This shouldn't be possible, how could his jutsu be able to penetrate even my fully formed Susanoo? Thought Itachi to himself before falling flat on his face, the spiritual warrior that had formed around his body shimmering and eventually disappearing a few seconds later. This is the end of the line, Itachi, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Apologized Shisui with a pained expression on his face that he was trying to hide. 8 trigrams, double mountain crushing vacuum palms, shouted a rough and mature voice. Shisui, who was not expecting such an attack, found himself at the receiving end of a ridiculously powerful and wide area attack. He felt like his rib cage had just been shattered into pieces.